So if we come back over to our settings here, the first thing we want to do is we're going to add a background image to the overall header. So if I hit save there, now this background color and image dialog pops up. Now, if there's something that's going on behind the header that you want to show, you can check the box, make background transparent. You can also change the background color here. If your page color is a different color, you can make it transparent, or you can put a background image in, or you can do all three. Well, you can't do all three. It's either colored or transparent, but you can do both as well. By default, what happens is it makes the header white and nothing else. But what we'll do here is we're going to add a background image, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that from we need to get that image from the media library. And that was this image right here. It's a little bottom border. So if I hit edit, and then just grab the URL for that, back over here and paste that. And then we don't, this is going to be essentially a bottom border for the header. So I don't want it to repeat either in the X or the Y direction. So I'm going to leave it alone. And I also want it to be centered horizontally. And I want it to be at the bottom of the header, as opposed to the top of the header or the center of the header, right? I could also specify a specific horizontal position using pixels if I wanted to, but that's a more fine-tuning than is actually necessary for this image. So if we go ahead and hit save to this now, come over and refresh this. Okay, this image actually continues all the way across, but it's being hidden by this text widget. And what we'll need to do then is, if we want this image to show below it, which we do, we need to give the overall header a height that's greater than the height of this image. So now we're going to start using the height calculations, or we'll use the height functions of the plugin. So we come back over to the overall header, and we give an overall header height of, say, 200 pixels. And hit save. Come back over, whoops. Come back over and refresh it. Now you can see that 200 pixels has pulled this image down below this image. And so we've got our bottom border across here. And now all we want to do, or we need to do, is just drag this down, maybe make it level with the professor. And so the way we're going to do that is to give it some top margin, which will push the menu down from the top of its container. And it looks like that's probably about 70 pixels or so. So if we come back over to the right header area menu settings, and we give ourselves a top margin of 70 pixels, and then refresh that, well, it looks like maybe even another 10 pixels. Top margin for the menu, give it 80 pixels. And I think also we're going to make the text alignment on this to go to the right, so that the menu floats all the way to the right. Let's see how that turns out. Okay, actually it didn't move the menu to the right, so what we need to do is add some margin on the left hand side so we can push this over. It looks to me like we want about 50 pixels there. So let's go ahead and add, the text alignment doesn't matter on this, so it didn't do the job. So we'll add to the menu settings, we will add well, we could do this one of two ways. We could either add left side margin to the menu, or we could add left side margin to the widget area. I think we'll go ahead and add left side margin to the widget area, and we'll go ahead and, let's see, right header left margin. So we call that 50 pixels. There's, more than one way to skin this cat, obviously. Yeah, that looks pretty close. Actually, it's a nice little overhang there, a little overhang there. So that's pretty much got us where we want this to be. So now we've got a header image on the left, and we've got a navigation menu on the right. We've got a nice little, background image border for the bottom of it. And the next thing we're going to do is add a search bar up here.